Hey guys, Nubkeks here, and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. Today I'm bringing you, on request, a look into Insight build Kharazim. So this is the Insight talent. Instead of the normal Transcendence talent, where every 3 basic attacks you heal the lowest health party member for a little bit, what this one does is every 3 attacks, it restores some of your mana, but it's also a quest, and after you've procced it 100 times, it also reduces your active cooldowns every 3 hits by 1 second, which is absolutely huge. And basically the idea of this talent is that it's going to be obviously much weaker early game than the healing talent, but that later in the game you'll get a lot more utility, you'll get more dashes and more punches and stuff, so you'll do a bit more damage, you'll have a whole lot of mana, you don't need to worry about your mana at all, and spins of friendship. And yeah, you'll also do a comparable amount of healing because it will be reducing your heal. I'll talk about as well the talents that we're going to build to sort of synergize with this and get the most out of it as we go through this particular game. I should say right at the start that this game is pretty terrible, but in an hilarious way. It's normally the sort of thing that I would cut out and just bring you a different type of game, but I thought this one was funny enough. For example, that. There's stuff like this the whole way through this game. It's absolutely crazy, and although the level of play isn't particularly good in this game, I think it's just the stuff that happens is so funny. I said, you know, what the hell, it's worthwhile bringing it to you anyway. Just for a laugh, and hopefully I'll be able to show off some of the Kharazim things anyway. We'll see. So that was a bit bad anyway, getting caught by Dahaka's stun, but oh well. Okay, so Kharazim, let's talk a bit about him. Obviously, as Kharazim, I think he's probably one of the most difficult supports to play. A lot of supports are actually fairly difficult to play, in my opinion, in terms of their mechanics, in terms of timing things, like a perfect cleanse, a perfect ancestral, perfect divine palm, very difficult to do. With Kharazim, I think it's about 40% of his healing actually comes from his trait, that level 1 talent that you pick up, whether it be just the basic healing one or this particular insight one. Also, can I just say, if you like quest pings, you're going to really like this talent because you'll be pinging away like absolute mad while you're doing this. Yeah, so it's very important as Kharazim to be actually basic attacking things and getting the most out of your basic attacks. You can see, for example, I picked him in this game. Well, number one, I like this map. I'll say why, but also we've got 2 warriors here. We've got Chen and Sonya. So, in theory, we also have the Butcher. So in theory, I should be able to get a lot of punches off and therefore get a lot of healing off. It also helps when your teammates are going to be somewhat condensed. For example, let's say, well, Rhaegar has a bit more flexibility there, for example, because his chain heal can bounce over a bigger distance. Whereas Kharazim, your heal is this AoE that comes out from you. So basically, you kind of flourish when your teammates are going to be kind of stacked a little bit more. And yeah, you can do a lot of healing when it works out well. You can see we've already got this quest stacked up quite a lot. And the reason that I picked Kharazim on this particular map, ironically, Sky Temple, it's usually the shortest map, the most snowbally map. So you'd think, well, hey, the level 1 talent that's worse early game and that wants to stack up through the game, it's probably a bad thing to go for, and you'd be right in that sense. However, I think Insight works well on maps like Sky Temple. Also, I'd say stuff like Garden of Terror would be quite good. Maybe Battlefield of Eternity, Infernal Shrines. Basically, the key is you want to stack this up as much as possible. And all of these maps, like Sky Temple, on Sky Temple we have these Temple Guardians that spawn, and they're these big dudes. They're just big meat shields. You can also do these siege camp kind of easily as well. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do here on this particular map that gets your quest stacked up actually pretty quickly. It's pretty nice. So you don't have to worry about getting really far into a game and then not having your quest finished and being like really suboptimal for a long time. So that's why I kind of like him on this particular map. I think it's quite nice. So other talents I picked up, at level 4 I picked up Healing Totem, I think it's called. It's pretty good as well. It just gives you a bit of a broader coverage. I decided to pick that up just in case, I figured with the Butcher and stuff this could be a pretty crazy game. So I just want to ensure that we kind of get away with as much as possible, basically. And like Chen, we kind of have quite a bit of dive, and then they have a bit of dive as well, so it could be kind of crazy, and I grabbed that for just a bit extra healing. I think it could work pretty well. You got some flexibility at level 4. Protective Shield is a really nice healing cooldown as well, gives you a bit of extra single target. Yeah, you got lots of options there. Also, Foresight, I think, is there as well, which is like your dash will reveal an area, which is very nice against heroes with stealth. Could have used it against Greymane here, actually, or just on maps with choke points that you want to scout out, or Cursed Hollows, something like that. Yeah, lots of options at level 4. Level 7, I think, is one of the most interesting talent tiers, because, well, you have Cleanse on that tier, which is usually, in terms of, like, higher level play, that would be kind of the go-to thing. I mistimed the stun there from Gazlowe and actually walked back into it, which is kind of bad. Sonya is going to die. Yeah, it's like Cleanse would normally be your go-to thing. Now with Insight, you do have some... I'm not sure why she's pinging me. Sonya, I think it's your fault that you died. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I suppose one of the key things with Insight is that, well, seeing as it's reducing your ability cooldowns, it's obviously going to synergize well with improving your other abilities. And at level 7, it's kind of like how Brightwing works as well. You have a number of abilities that, a number of talents that improve your basic abilities, which you can take instead of Cleanse. In this game, I decided to try it. I think it's called Echo of Heaven or Breath of Heaven, something like that. It makes your, I think it's Echo of Heaven. I think your heal is Breath of Heaven. It makes your heal anyway pop a second time after a short delay for I think it's like 35% of the healing. So that's essentially, roughly speaking, going to improve our healing by 35%, and you know, that's pretty good, all things considered. Unfortunately, right there, I was a little bit slow selecting Divine Palm. If I had picked it up a bit sooner, I might have been able to actually save the Butcher there, maybe. I don't know. See here, I was trying to dodge stuff. I was trying to basic attack stuff as I went. I think, again, if I played it a little bit better, maybe just like stepping in another inch out, stutter stepping a little bit, or just like going straight for that W as soon as it was coming off cooldown, it might have saved myself. It's a close thing though, that's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, obviously that Echo of Heaven, that's going to improve your healing a lot, and seeing as you're getting a lot more heals off because of your Insight talent and its procs, it's going to work really well. You could also get, I really like Wave, I think Wave 100 fists or 500 fists, 1,000, I don't know, a lot of fists either way, which makes your Q do a bunch of damage, and that's really nice too. It actually, because it turns you into a bit of a much bigger damage threat. You can do a lot of damage with that, using your dashes to kind of focus some single target burst down to particular targets, which is quite nice because, again, your Q cooldowns will be coming off very, very quickly with this build. I thought that was hilarious back there, by the way, that Chen is saying that we can't win before level 20. I was like, number one, it's complete bullshit. Like, I mean, we're winning. You know what I mean? It's like we can't win, but it's like, even the theory is bullshit, but then even like, aside from the theory, we are winning. So I don't know where the hell he's coming from with that. Number two, I don't understand why the fuck you pick a team that can only win at level 20 on Sky Temple. That is somewhat bizarre in of itself. And then, yeah, number three, just wait until later in the game and you see what he picks at level 20. And maybe then you'll understand the reason why he thinks we can only win once he's at level 20. Because he's got a doozy of a talent there to help us secure this game. Cough, cough. Anyway. Yeah, at level 10 I did pick up Divine Palm. I prefer the other talent, actually, 7-sided strike. But in this game, like, we've so much damage that I really don't need any more additional damage. And they only have Dahaka, who can kind of dodge it anyway. Well, they've got Tyrael as well. But I mean, they've got Sanctification and they've got the Burrow. So it's kind of like, I don't know if I'll really get too much value out of Divine 7-sided strike. The reason I typically prefer 7-sided strike is that, well, it does a whole lot of damage, actually. It does quite a lot of damage. And it's also really nice because it's kind of like an ice block for yourself. Like, built into your talent, you can go kind of aggressive with Kharazim to get as much healing and resets and stuff as you can, and then you can at the same time, you know, if you do start getting focused on, you can pop that 7-sided strike, and it's basically like ice block, which is kind of handy. Kill this Gazlowe. So what I was intending to do here was to, you know, dash to the minions. The Butcher did come in and he does die. However, I think I will make it out alive. I think, I don't know, I can't see anything. Okay, yeah, they're chasing me. Did he actually use Divine Shield to chase me? Ah, I told you this is a terrible game. The old Divine Shield chase, am I right? That's what we like to see. Oh, don't worry though, my MMR has been slowly but inexorably climbing, so we are going to slowly get into better games. This is unranked draft, by the way, in case I don't think I said it in this video, but yeah. Unranked draft MMR. We had a losing streak and it went down quite a bit. We're climbing up again, and we'll get to a point where we actually get good games consistently, and that will save me a lot of time recording and stuff like that. But anyway, I found the first half of this game very entertaining. I found the second half very shit, but the first half was hilarious. And it was a very chaotic game. I kind of enjoyed that. Okay, level 13 I picked up, I think it's Relentlessness, or whatever the equivalent is for Kharazim, which reduces the duration of disables used against you. This is probably your go-to talent in general. It just helps you survive an awful lot more. I mean, the enemy team doesn't have a ton of stuns, but it'll help me with the Dahaka or anything like that. The Uther stun, you know, they don't have a ton, the Gazlo stun as well, but you know, they've got a few things that I really don't want to get caught in, and reducing the duration of those is really going to help out. And really going to improve my survivability, therefore my healing and my team survivability and everything like that. It's going to be the one that you grab most often. There are other options in this tier as well, if you so desire. Primarily if the enemy team doesn't have anything, any stuns, then you can go for something else, or slows or whatever. Depends on the needs of the game. But I do like this one, and this is the one I nearly always take because, well, in drafts, teams will nearly always have stuns. You see, I don't really care about the boss here because you're going to kill it. Level 16, again, you got options here. I picked up the Circle of Life, I think it was called, which improves the healing depending on if our allies are stacked up. And considering that we have, well, Tychus is somewhat short range anyway. And then we've got, you know, 3 melee heroes plus me, so essentially 4 melee heroes as our teammates dive and get themselves killed. You know, there's essentially, I think our teammates let me die here, yeah. Hey guys, I could really do with a dash target right here, just saying, you know, just saying, that might be nice. No? Okay. I just love that you've got 2 full health warriors running away from like a 3v3 and let their support die. Fun times. Yeah, I figured this would be a decent talent to pick up. Again, just cranking out more healing. Just getting as much healing out as we can. I mean, the enemy team's got quite a lot of damage as well, especially with the Gazlo kind of AoE damage. And I figured we're going to be quite stacked up, like kind of big melee stack. Why not pick up a bit more healing there? And that would probably work pretty damn solid. Get us a lot more healing and be pretty nice. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, again, like I said, there's other options you can mix in with this. You can mix in some talents for EQ. Basically, you know, you could even potentially grab some talents for your E, even that, Deadly Reach, I think. It really depends. Nice barrel. Yeah, there's a lot of options that you can do with this particular build. I really do think so. A lot of options you can go for. And that's one of the nice things about Insight. You're a bit more restricted with Transcendence, where at least Transcendence kind of lends itself more, let's say, towards like a more traditional healing build, where you're going for a bit more utility and you're relying on your basic attacks to heal, whereas this is, well, you could just put your points into whatever ability you want to boost up depending on the needs of the particular game. Usually you'd probably still go for healing, because that's usually what you need, unless it's like some weird double healer composition. But yeah, this is hilarious, by the way. Look at this. What is that, almost 10 turrets? I think it was 9, I don't know. It was a lot of turrets right there. An awful lot of turrets. I'm just going to try kill these things and obviously get more heals as I kill them. Jen's gone pretty deep. Tychus is in some trouble as well. I could have saved Tychus there. I did get sort of briefly silenced. I do save myself, which isn't ideal. Really would have wanted to save Tychus. That was pretty chaotic right there, though. It's one of the difficult things with Kharazim, I find, especially, is it's very difficult to use Divine Palm. And I mean, it's one of the things, like, I've seen the best support players in the world, far better than I am, mess it up as well. You know, it's one of those cooldowns that's difficult to use. You can pop it too early, you can pop it too late. I find in pub games, more so than anything, it's difficult because people do really dumb things, and then you can just get caught out because they've done dumb things and you don't know exactly what to do. You'll see in this game a couple of times, like, the positioning is so bad, and then it divides your attention. I don't know how you deal with it. Honestly, I don't think you can. It's like, if your teammates are just like all over the place, they're completely split up, and they're just completely floundering pretty much in every respect, and they're all over the place. They're like, you've got 2 groups of teammates on both sides of the team fight, both diving unsuccessfully, both out of position. It's like there's so much stuff drawing your attention. It becomes almost impossible to play a good Kharazim at that point, which is definitely a drawback to him. And also, like, it also makes it more difficult then to actually get your basic attacks in. and then you're losing out a lot of effectiveness on your healing. It's one of the things that makes him very hard. Whereas, say, for example, like Rhaegar, for example, it's certainly difficult to use Ancestral Healing, but like your Chain Heal, is not reliant on your teammates whatsoever, essentially, right? Your Chain Heal is going to be just as effective regardless of whether they're playing well or not. You know, like, sure, you know, if they're not really stacked up, but it's got a pretty generous range. You're going to be pretty good at healing no matter what happens. Oh, this game is too funny. Same with a lot of other here. He wrecked. He sure showed that turret who was boss. He sure showed that turret. Nice Defiant Shield coming out there. At this point, I was tearing my hair out in the game. I was dying. Like the first half, I was like, this is so dumb, but at least it's entertaining. In the second half, I just hated this game so much. Oh my god. Yeah, level 20, if we get there, I think there's a couple of options here as well. I suppose the ones you pick up most often are potentially Divine Repose, which is if you cast your palm and then it doesn't actually pop, it doesn't activate on someone, it will reduce the cooldown to 5 seconds. So this lets you be a lot more, it just removes a lot of the difficulty in using that palm. Because again, against good players stop attacking a target when it's on low health and the palm is on them. So the palm can sometimes not achieve anything. It's one of the things I like about 7-sided strike. You're guaranteed to get usefulness out of it. Yeah, whereas the palm, sometimes it can be outplayed and things like that. Obviously 7-sided strike can be outplayed a bit as well, but it's less impactful, and yeah, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Divine Repose can be pretty nice. I wouldn't get it in this game because I feel like my palms are popping. It's just people are dying plenty quickly and being focused down. There's no problem really at all with actually getting those palms off. So I'm not really worried about that. I think I'd go for Storm Shield. I think I do hit level 20 and I do pick up Storm Shield in this game, which I think makes sense. Again, I didn't pick up Cleanse in this game. Like, in hindsight, I was kind of like, shit, Cleanse would have actually worked fairly well, because people do get stunned a lot more than I expected them to. This is an interesting fight. Okay, so this is kind of crazy. That was a really tough spot. Check this out. Oh, the pain. I should have probably just palmed Sonya. I kind of would assume that Sonya would be okay on her own. She was not. But yeah, that was sort of what I was talking about, the chaos, where it's like, shit is just going down all over the place. I was like, well, Sonya's getting wrecked up top. Well, the Butcher's already dead. Sonya's getting wrecked. Tychus is getting wrecked. I was basically like, what the fuck do I do? It's difficult. I also like the 11-sided strike upgraded 7-sided strike, by the way. It's very good if you're going for that sort of isolation thing. So if the 7-sided strike is being used more so for damage, so if they do have a warrior who's very susceptible to it and they're not able to dodge it, or you have a team that's going to sort of single someone out. So for example, I don't know, if you got like a Tassadar, he's going to force wall them in so that you will get that 7-sided strike off and they've got no way of dodging it, then 11-sided strike can be very nice. But yeah, I mean, like that team fight, my attention was drawn. People were dying horrifically everywhere. I was like, shit, who do I divine palm? And then I just thought it was so funny. I did land a palm on Tychus that would have worked, except he didn't stop shooting. So he kept healing himself. I think he would have got a lot more value out of it if he just let himself die. But oh well. Oh well. Yeah, so that kind of sucked. But I mean, hopefully as well, like, you're seeing some of the strengths and weaknesses of Kharazim in this particular game, in the Insight build. I do like the Insight build, I have to say. Divine Shield denies the Butcher engage. This is pretty bad. Okay, so Sonya's dead already. I don't know. I can only assume that she didn't build Sonya properly. I don't know if I looked. We can check it out. I'll show the talents at the end. We can look at there. I assume she did not take the correct defensive talents level 16 and 20, because Sonyas don't die like that. So quick, like, she died. Unfortunately, right there again. I thought that Chen would be in trouble. That was kind of dumb. I just got myself killed. I was kind of like, wait, are you serious? That's why we need to wait till level 20, everyone. He upgraded the fucking barrel. Oh my god, it's like, it's one of those talents that makes the ability worse. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's one of the things that makes it worse. I personally don't understand why he didn't use the barrel, especially seeing as he got the super speed barrel to like defend the team when, you know, we all died. I'm somewhat baffled by that, but oh well. Beggars can't be choosers, I guess. But yeah, he picked up the barrel. It's like another one would be the Zeratul Void Prison upgrade, which effectively makes it worse. It's like, the value it adds is so bad it really doesn't add anything. The reason the Chen barrel sucks is it gets really difficult to control when it's that fast. So you can't use it for its best purpose, which is to actually like pick someone off or zone people out. It's plenty fast, it's just a space state. But anyway, there you go. Oh my god. Again, I hope you enjoyed that one. Just hilarious train wreck game. And Gazlo carrying, which is hilarious, I thought. The power of those turrets. Clockwork Steam Fists, everyone. Very funny. It was a funny game. In hindsight, it's very funny. Playing it, the first half was great fun. Second half, I was like, kill me, please kill me. Anyway, they're the stats. We'll come back to those. Again, hard to judge stuff off the stats in that particular game. But I mean, like, the Gazlo hero damage actually really does stand out, doesn't it? But anyway, yeah, I guess Sonya picked the wrong talents. Cool. Anyway, these are my talents. Healing Word, Echo of Heaven, Divine Palm, Relentless, Circle of Life, and Storm Shield. And again, relatively standard. Again, you can mix it up with Insight build if you want. That can work quite nicely. But you do have some flexibility though at the same time. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're gonna have less flexibility with Transcendence. I mean to say, with Insight you got more flexibility. Do I think Insight is good? Yeah, I do actually quite like it. I do quite like it a lot, and I do enjoy it with the damage talent at level 7 a lot as well. Actually, that's really nice. Just punching the crap out of fools. But yeah, I would pick it on maps where, like, Sky Temple works actually surprisingly well. Garden of Terror, Battlefield of Eternity, Infernal Shrines, I guess, as well. Anything like that, any punching bag map where you're going to have some sort of neutral objective that you can punch the crap out of to stack that quest up and get the quest completed as soon as possible, it's going to work really well. Like, I wouldn't choose it on a map like, I don't know, let's say Towers of Doom, where you could be like faffing around for ages, not actually punching anything, and you're going to be really crippled right there. Anyway, that was a Kharazim game. Give a like if you enjoyed it. I hope it was at least funny. And yeah, cool. Kharazim, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. I don't know. I do have him, I think, at tier 1 in my tier list at the moment. I might lower it down in the future, purely because he is pretty difficult to play, and he is relatively team composition dependent. Whereas, let's say, Rhaegar obviously functions just no matter what. Uther works relatively well in general, though he's not as strong, I wouldn't say. Brightwing, again, works pretty damn well regardless of team comp. She's still dependent, but not as much as Kharazim. Yeah, Kharazim, look to use him in games where, or just in general. So the Insight one is, okay, I'm on a map where I can punching bag. If not, then Transcendence is probably your go-to, just to heal on basic attacks. And then look to use him in team compositions where you are going to be able to get off your punches. Because if you're not able to get off basic attacks, you're primarily going to use him. He'll be nice. I suppose he kind of work with Tassadar, actually, which I rarely see. I'm not sure about that one. I suppose it would. Yeah, it would work kind of nicely, especially with 7-sided strike. It'd be kind of funky. But more importantly, probably you're looking at something with a good front line, like with a Thrall or a double warrior, and like going up against an enemy team that, you know, that you're not too worried as well about getting bursted down, because, I mean, as I said, it's about 40% of his power comes from his basic attacks. If you're not working in a composition where you can actually go in and basic attack stuff, or if you're going up against a team where that's possible, you're going to have a tough time, and you're probably better off getting a healer that's, you know, fully capable of healing without that need. There you go, guys, though. Hopefully that was a bit of help, and I'll see you all next time for more Heroes of the Storm. Bye-bye.